Hi and welcome to LawWiser. We all know about the UPI payment systems and data privacy and a lot of regulatory framework issues that have been coming up these days. To understand this in a very simple manner, we have an expert with us, Mr. Atul Juble. He is the General Counsel, Compliance Officer, and Company Secretary at Schindler India Private Limited. Welcome on board, sir. Thank you for taking time out for us.
Thank you, Sania, for the introduction and opportunity. I would like to, before I answer your question, I would like to say that these are my personal views and not my company views.
So before we get into more specifics and details of UPI, if you can very briefly explain to our audience about UPI.
UPI in brief is Unified Payment Interface, and this is in addition to our NEFT model, or we do the digital transfer. Okay. Uh, 2 3 points. One point is that it is available only on the mobile smartphone application. So that is one aspect. Second aspect is your bank should be party to the UPI system. And to tell you that there are 150 banks already party to them. Okay, so I think banks will be the party for this UPI. There are third party service provider also, and it is a two-way process. It is a real-time transfer, and you have to type all the sensitive information and all. So it's a, once you are registered, you can transfer by one click with two PIN, so that's a OTP type generation. Okay, so this is UPI in short, and it has taken a very well for the June 2020. The transactions have number of transactions are 1.34 billion, involving of 2,61,000 crore. So it has taken up very nicely within 2 years time.
Considering UPI involves transactions, what are the regulatory frameworks to control and monitor the UPI systems?
So it was introduced in 2018, and RBI RBI monitors and control through NPCI, their company, and they have got an infrastructure. So any system when it is newly introduced, one is infrastructure required, then security aspect has to be seen, then safety aspect, safety of the money and transactions, and then other regulations comes in the picture. So it is evolving field, and RBI also made, there is the ombudsman for the digital payments. So the grievance, I will say, broad framework is in the place, and it is evolving. So there is a digital ombudsman is in place to complain about any transaction failure or something. And also there is an appellate tribunal. For appellate system is there to make appeal if you are not satisfied with the ombudsman.
As we all know, data privacy is very, very crucial these days. And almost every system, anything that's going online, one has to be very careful about the data privacy and data protection. So, sir, if you can just explain how data privacy has implications in the UPI system as well.
So there is already a case file in the Supreme Court, and it is going on. And so I will not touch upon about that case. I am very clear on that. So that's a disclaimer. But we will talk what is the data privacy involvement in the system. So data privacy in the UPI system is of two types. One is that customer, as a customer, I am inputting my personal data. So that is my personal data. This is one aspect of data privacy. Second data privacy aspect is my financial transactions. So these are the two sets of the data privacy involved in the UPI framework. Now coming back to laws applicable currently, because data privacy bill has not become the law in India, we expect it as per the public information that it will be taken up in the budget session. Already all the points are been sorted out, so I fairly expect that it can come up as an act, so that it will cover whole gamut. But that doesn't mean that currently there are no law applicable. So financial information which is done, financial transactions which are done, they are considered as a sensitive personal data information. And there is a law, the Income IT Act is there, provisions are there for that sensitive personal data information violation. First part, which is also important and relevant, which is my personal data, which is now a concept everywhere, where GDPR was introduced, that personal, my privacy. So that is also taking creative uses, and where the actually people are interested, because that data is sold in the market. So that is why that's an objection. So for that also there are IT Act provision, but they are not implemented at in the particularly the manner which is required. There is a reason for that. Privacy as a concept in India was cleared in August 2017 when Supreme Court decided that privacy is also constitutional right for Indian citizens. And from that, the things have become important and relevant. GDPR brought in again the angle, different angle actually, and we are now talking about the privacy. So privacy is related to natural person information like your mobile number, email ID, home address, etc. are the particularly personal information. So there is a concern on there is a concern expressed on this both the aspects. According to the information available and confirmation by the service providers, they are following this sensitive data, personal data information guidelines. Also, they are considering, but at the same time, as we all know, when we go to the bank, when we fill the form, we give our consent to use our data for other things. So that is there, and so the customers who are giving the consent should have should be aware about that what they are giving the consent. But so these are the two implications in the data privacy in the particularly UPI.
Thank you, sir. Anything that we also have for, data privacy and RBI guidelines for UPI system?
It is there, but it is related to mainly financial transactions, because financial transactions are also important. There are, see, regulatory if you are talking about from the switching from the data privacy, there is also antitrust issue which is also there, which is a risk which is highlighted in this UPI, because the market is dominated by the 3 or 4 international players worldwide. I'm not talking of India, I'm talking about worldwide data. But sensitive personal data information also, this is important, but more important is what is sold in the market or what is exchanged in the market is your private personal information, because that becomes that is used creatively to profiling, to select the preferences, to do the marketing activities, and that is where the problem is.
Thank you, sir. This actually really helps in, understanding the entire UPI system and the data privacy aspects that it involves. Also, if you can, share certain suggestion or remarks with respect to this UPI system as well.
Yes. So first is that awareness of a privacy, awareness of the our own cyber security. These are the two very important aspects when we do the mobile operation for the transaction. When we do mobile operator. So first guideline is that first suggestion actually, and you will laugh at it, that the all mobile should be password protected. So there are 20-25% people who do not have the password, and there where the cyber threat happens. This is one. And secondly, even if you have password, don't keep that mobile shop owner's password at 1234. So that's that's another point. So simple, very simple suggestions. Third suggestion is that since it is a mobile operator platform, do not use public free Wi-Fi. So this is a very important thing, because when you get something free, you are compromising your privacy. So there is a risk of hacking in the public Wi-Fi. And last thing I will say is that if possible, when you do this bank transaction, be mindful in the sense, concentrate on that transaction. At that time, there should not be 2-3 thoughts in your mind. You should be in a secured place. For example, it should not be public place, because again the hackers are there everywhere. So this is the cyber security aspect, because once the money goes, it is difficult to recover. And there are good number of examples where the money is taken out from your account.
Thank you, sir. This is very helpful. Thank you for taking time out for us.